The Impossible Crispy Big Easy Oilless Fryer Turkey. Deep fried flavor, no oil, no mess. You want a turkey that looks like this, tastes like this, but you don't want 5 gallons of hot oil, the mess? Good, because you can make this impossible crispy turkey with hardly no effort. Hey, brine your turkey. You know, there's two different ways to brine, which you probably already know. You know, one is wet brine, one is dry. The wet, you know, you got to have a giant container like a bucket or something. It's a little bit hard for some of us that don't have a lot of fridge space. But the dry brine is really, really simple. You just sprinkle a layer of kosher salt on that turkey. You can see right there, those red flakes are from that sea salt that's mined from under a volcano here in the US. Some might suggest this is one of the more pure forms of salt, which I really like. Put it in the fridge and just let it brine for 24 hours. Wipe off that excess salt from the brine overnight. This will make sure your turkey doesn't get, you know, too salty. You do not need to rinse this turkey off. And the next thing we want to do is apply a binder. I'm going to use this avocado-based mayo. Mayo makes a perfect binder and it helps give it a really golden color. You could use duck fat, you could use avocado oil or olive oil. Personal preference of mine is I try to avoid these days all of the seed oils. Anyway, I've got another video I'll put a link of in the description box where the focus of the video was a mayo turkey, if you'd like to see the color of that. Anyway, so we just want to finish getting this binder all over. Doesn't take a thick coat. You want to make sure to get this backside also with your mayonnaise. Oh, and you see this? We got this little extra piece. You just trim this kind of stuff off. Just a little bit more mayo there. And we're ready to season this turkey. Get underneath these legs. We're ready to season this turkey up. Now, if you're using the Big Easy, this step is super important. You want to choose a seasoning, a spice rub that is low in sugar. And all 3 of these, sugar is like the 4th or 5th ingredient listed down on the bottle. And for those of you who've seen my other videos, you know my favorite for turkey is this Goblin Good turkey rub. So we're going to get this thing really seasoned up, a nice thick layer, right? It's a huge bird, almost 16 pounds. You're going to have to move it around. You're going to have to pick up these wings to get underneath them. We'll turn it over and get all the sides. And then I'm going to come back with a second layer of this Franklin's spice rub. And again, you do not need these spice rubs to make your turkey turn out great in this Big Easy. Make your own. Find one on the internet. Buy one. I mean, they're not paying me to say this. Finish up this turkey with this finer. This is a much finer grain rub. Then we're going to let it sit here for about 15-20 minutes. Soak up some of these seasonings while we go out and get our Big Easy ready. Just going to turn our propane on. There she is. We're not going to use this lid during the cook, but it will help this Big Easy heat up quicker. My first Big Easy oilless fryer video was 11 years ago. I've always loved cooking with this thing, and in fact my unit still worked. But being out in the Florida humidity for 11 years, it had some rust spots on it, it had some scratches, some battle wounds, so I went out and bought a brand new one. Now this step is optional, but in that Big Easy, these wing tips, they'll overcook, they're so thin. If you don't want them to overcook, you don't want them to get that dark color, you can just take some foil, wrap it around these wing tips, and it'll solve that problem for you. And I'm going to do the same thing to the tips of these drumsticks. Again, just to keep them from getting that dark color on them. Now you want to put your turkey in this basket, breast side up so that it cooks properly. Get our legs tucked in. They say a 16 pound is as big as you can put in this guy, and that's what I have, a 16 pound. You can see I've knocked off some of the rub here. So I'm just going to touch this guy up, tilt this basket, right? It's not been in there. It's not hot yet. And after I get it touched up, we'll move back over to this Big Easy. We're going to get this drip pan ready. This foil makes easy cleanup. And then what I like to do here, start with just a little liquid in the bottom. Sometimes if that turkey drips out real slow, then it just kind of scorches and sticks to the pan. If it's got a little liquid to drip into, sometimes it can make you know, some nice goodies for you to make gravy or something out of. Let's get this guy in there. Let's let the fun begin. That was noisy, wasn't it? Don't use this lid. I know, why they give me a lid if I'm not supposed to use it? It does have a purpose, a couple purposes, but for the most part, in warm weather, you don't want to use that lid, especially with a turkey, because what will happen is it'll get too hot inside, and the outside of that turkey will get way too done. In Florida, the only time I use it, occasionally we'll have one of these cold snaps. It'll get into like the 30s with the wind blowing, and that cooker can't maintain the temperature. Then I'll put the lid on it. The only other time I use the lid, sometimes I'll check a turkey or a chicken in that last 20 minutes. If I want the skin to get darker at that point, then I'll put the lid on it for that last 15-20 minutes and keep an eye on it. If it's dark enough, no lid. It's been 1 hour. Turkey's nowhere near being done, but I want to show you how it's starting to take on color. Everything's hot at this point, so you always want to be careful. As you can see, starting to get a little bit of a tan color, but we got a ways to go. Let's get her back down in this cooker. Now here in Florida, I usually budget about 10 minutes per pound. I mean, if you're in a colder area, your mileage may vary. More importantly, is that final temp. You want those breasts, the final resting temperature, to be 165 degrees F minimum. Hey, so another hour has gone by, 2 hours total. Let me take you in, let's look at that color again. Pull this turkey up out of here. Now you can see that color on it is darker than it was last time. You can see you're starting to get some really nice color. You can start to see for yourself why you don't want to use that lid. Let's get our bird back down in here. It's been about 2 hours, 20 minutes. This turkey's already temperature probe at about 156, 157. Look at that beautiful color. The final thing I'm going to do here is I got a little bit of clarified butter. All right. We're going to just kind of hit it up with this butter. Be careful, you don't want to brush all your seasoning off. And I'm not even going to take it out of here and create the big mess. Just going to, best I can, come down this breast, down these legs, get this clarified butter on there. And then we'll put it back in this Big Easy. All right, got our butter on there. Let's get this back in the Big Easy. 10-15 minutes max. So total cook time, it was less than 2 hours and 45 minutes, 2 hours 40 minutes, which is about right if you think about the 10 minute per pound rule. Get this. Remember, all this stuff is hot, right? Look at the beautiful color on this turkey. Again, this basket's hot. Don't touch anything. Just gonna set it on here. Let this thing sit here 10-15 minutes minimum just before we even think about taking it out of this basket. You can see how we put that butter sauce on the outside. Nice and juicy there. There's a top-down view for you. This turkey is looking good, good, good. And then here's the backside. Right, consistent color all the way across. And the two optional tips, I'll put some links to videos in the descriptions if you're interested, but injecting your turkey with the butter sauce or whatever your favorite, kind of mixture is, will definitely make it juicier. And then the other thing you can do is you can take like a butter herb mixture and put it in between the skin and the meat. So I've got some gloves on here, it's cooled down enough. Now, it may stick a little bit to the basket, so, you want to just kind of, there we go, loosen it up. This turkey is super hot. You could continue letting it rest here if you want it inside the basket. What I'm going to do is try to take it out of this basket without destroying the turkey. My handle's holding it up. Now, I'm going to let it sit here at least 20 minutes. It's already been sitting 15. Cover it up so I don't get a fly or something on it outside out here. You want these juices to redistribute back in this turkey. We'll let it sit here 20-25 minutes, even a half hour if we have to, till it cools down. Now while that turkey's cooling down, let's have a look and see if we got any juice. And I hope there you go. Look, there is plenty of delicious juice from that turkey if you want to make a gravy or some kind of dipping sauce. Get this foil off. Now, for those of you who are doubting if this works or not, we'll take this foil off. You can touch it now without burning your hands. That's a good thing. A little foil on the back here we'll get off. But you can see that wing looks beautiful, and that's from that foil. Try this drumstick. It slips right off. Well, maybe, there we go. See, it's not burnt at all. Trust me, if you don't use the foil, you're going to get it burnt up in there. But, you know, there's not a lot of meat. It's not like you're going to lose anything. Color of that turkey. You can see that juice at the surface. This turkey is going to be so good. I come down this breast here. Oh, that turkey is beautiful. Just going to cut off a piece here. It is still super hot. You could have left this sit here another 30 minutes. It's just that hot. Look at that skin. Look at that turkey. Let's give it a taste test. Skin is not rubbery at all. Hope you can see that. This turkey is moist. That's from the brine. It's got a great flavor. You got to give this one a try if you've got one of these Big Easy oilless fryers.